Hello, and welcome to the first episode of The Lunacy of Middle Age with your friends Pete
and Alex,
the podcast where we discuss the absurdity of life past 40. Nothing will be off limits, so buckle up and get ready to laugh with
and at us
as we talk about life in a raw and unfiltered way. Al.
Hey.
This is it, our first episode of our first podcast ever.
I think it'll be fun.
You sure?
Yeah, it's like therapy, couples therapy, except for free, and we're just sitting in a closet doing it.
Oh, we're not in a closet. All right, so let's start off who we are. Why don't you go first?
All right. I'm Alex. I'm 43 years old, mother of 4 children, 2 bio kids, 2 step kids. Used to be a teacher, and now I'm a project manager. And I'm here with my best friend, Pete.
Oh, isn't that sweet? And my name is Pete. I'm Alex's husband and apparently best friend. I'm 49, so I'm a bit older than her. But really, the purpose of this podcast that we wanted to do was to kind of talk about how crazy things get during your middle-age time, especially when you have kids in the mix and everything else. And we thought it would be funny, therapeutic, maybe get 1 or 2 listeners, but even if we don't really care because it should be fun just to talk to one another anyway. So that was kind of the whole purpose around this. So now we're looking in 2022, in the beginning of 2022, and we thought it would be a good time to kick things off. But I think we're just like everybody else, because when I went to Best Buy, I saw a bunch of people buying these microphones. So
it's okay, we can have fun.
So what do you want to talk about on our first podcast?
All right, I think we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. It's the beginning of 2022. People are making resolutions, trying to plan for a better version of themselves for the new year. And I just want to throw you some statistics.
Oh, no. Am I one of those statistics? Because I make New Year's resolutions every year and I never end up sticking to them.
Whoa, we didn't even get to that yet.
All right.
This isn't all about you. All right. What do you think? Oh, actually, I'm going to ask you. What do you think the top New Year's resolution is?
To lose weight.
That's number 2. What's number 1?
I would say quit smoking, but we might be beyond that.
That was
or
pretty
tobacco
far
use.
Down the list.
Yeah, I figured in today's day and age. Be a better person?
I mean, that was kind of part of some of the other resolutions, but lose weight is number 2, at least on a lot of these lists. I mean, there's lists from studies that have been done all over the place, but
save money.
That was on there.
Not number 1 though.
No. I would say number 1 is related to losing weight, but it's specific.
Exercise more.
Right. Exercise more is exactly what the number 1 was. Lose weight was the number 2 resolution that was made.
Yeah. I mean, that should be rolled into 1, but
I know, I thought so too, but they separated it out, at least in one of the studies that I looked at. How many, based on, there's lots of studies out there. Some of them show really low percentages of people that actually succeed at sticking to their resolutions. But what do you think? What do you think a percentage of people who stick to their resolutions is?
Like over the entire year?
Yeah, like they look back on the year and they did or didn't achieve their resolutions.
I'm going to say 10% achieved, 90% did not.
I know, I would have even said 10% seemed high to me, but it's actually higher than that.
People are lying.
Maybe not. I mean, I think it's hard to tease out what's going on here, because I don't think people make one resolution. So I think these statistics are reflective of the fact that people make several resolutions and they stick to some of their resolutions, which could be true. One of these studies,
you can lie to yourself though too, and you can say I'll exercise more, and even if you exercise 3 times during that year, you could say, well, I achieved it because I didn't exercise at all.
Well, that might be part of the problem with New Year's resolutions. They're not specific enough. But here's some statistics that I found, and again, these were really varied numbers. And this study by an organization called Statista said 49% of people they surveyed stuck to some of their New Year's resolutions.
49%?
Yes.
No.
I know. Well, here's a study from the Journal of Clinical Psychology, and they, I didn't read the whole study, but they said 46% of people who made resolutions were successful, according to themselves, I guess.
Well, now I feel like a loser.
I know. I kind of do too. I was going to say, I would think that a very low percentage of people would stick to their New Year's resolutions, because I was going to ask you, have you ever, in your 49 years, the chunk of your 49 years that you were an adult or old enough to make a resolution, have you ever stuck to a resolution that you've made? And
No.
I mean any resolution.
No.
None?
No. Well, no. Because I mean, I would make a resolution at the beginning of the year, and I would, let's look back when I was using tobacco, right? I would tell myself every year I'm going to quit, and that would last for about a week, and then I would go back to it.
A week?
I mean, I ended up quitting, but it wasn't because of a New Year's resolution. I quit sometime in, I don't know, probably the middle of summer. It's been a long time now, but it didn't have anything to do with a New Year's resolution.
Right.
So
I don't think I've ever stuck to a New Year's resolution either. I mean, seriously, I don't think I ever have. But in fairness, I never reflected back on it either. Which I think is kind of a shame. Like, you make a New Year's resolution, sometimes you even write them down, and you have a new notebook, and you're going to start the year off right.
Why are you looking at me? Because that's what I do. I always get all these new fancy notebooks. I write stuff down, and then
no follow through.
6 weeks, I'm done with it, and I move on.
I'm not looking at you. I'm just looking at you because you're with me. I'm talking about myself, too.
You know what would be interesting in that, though? Is I wonder how many of those people, those 49%, what would you say, 49%?
Said they stuck to some of their resolutions.
I wonder how many of those people had an accountability partner. Because usually if you have somebody that's accountable for you, or you have to kind of report out on, then you're more apt to follow through.
49% of these people intentionally got an accountability partner?
Well, not necessarily an accountability partner, but, well, yeah, I mean, I guess accountability partner, because if I'm going to tell you I'm going to do something, and I want you to check up with me once a month to make sure I do it.
Well, I think these studies show a couple things. First of all, it's really hard to collect data on people's New Year's resolutions.
They all lied, too. So 49% of those people, 49% of that 49% lied.
No, it's not necessarily the case, but you're right. That is something that I want to discuss with you. But another important statistic you should be aware of is there was a study by an organization called Finder that said a quarter of the people they surveyed didn't even set goals for themselves at all. So not everyone's setting resolutions or even goals. Yeah,
but I would think that I actually would have thought that it would be closer to 75% of the people didn't
even set a goal.
Right. Didn't
really?
Make a goal.
That's not what I was thinking. I guess what I was thinking was...
Oh, that's because you're always the optimist and I'm always the pessimist.
I know. I mean, that is something that factors in here. But I think in general, and these are American studies, they weren't studies of global populations. It was just in America. And I don't even know, in all honesty, if making a New Year's resolution is something that people in other parts of the world do. But I was going to say, I don't know, these statistics make me think that people are kind of positive, or at least they want to strive to be better. But then I read the statistic that 25% didn't even set goals for themselves, and I was kind of like, meh, wah, wah. But I do think I think at the beginning of the year, people feel renewed and refreshed, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do better this year. I want to be a better person. I want to set some goals for myself. I want to see if I can achieve them. And then and I'm the same way. I do want to set goals for myself. I don't know why New Year's has to be the time to do it. But, I mean, looking back at my history, I've never followed through with a New Year's resolution. I'm embarrassed about it. I feel embarrassed to say that, even to you, my best friend.
Oh, how sweet. What?
You always act surprised when I say that. I thought I was your best friend, too.
You are. Well, you have to be my best friend if you're my only friend.
That's a shame. All right, listen, get back to the point here. The point is, I think people come into a new year feeling like they want to do something better. They want to be better at whatever. They want to exercise more. They want to lose weight. They want to save more money. Those were the top three. They want to, the other,
Does it say there what the age of the people are that were studied? Mm-mm. Because I wonder... I feel like the older that I get, the more apt I was to try to make a resolution. You know what I mean?
So when I was younger, in my 20s, you wouldn't have made one at all?
Yeah, if I was in my 20s and 30s, I don't think I did.
Really?
I don't think so.
I think I did.
I think I thought about them, but I don't think I really made them. I think it was probably until I hit 35 where I really started thinking, man, I got to do something. But then after that, I was thinking, because the majority of mine was probably lose weight. But then once you hit that age, it's harder to lose weight. So then you become discouraged.
Well,
quicker.
It's interesting that you bring that up because one of the studies did look at it from age perspective. So, they're looking at like baby boomers, Gen Xers, millennials, Gen Yers, whatever the next up
Is
and
that
coming.
the right?
Generation Y? I don't know. Generation Z? I don't know.
I don't know. We skip Y.
I thought there was.
You're so old.
I know. Well, this study, the Statista study that I talked about, they surveyed 1,500 people. I don't know. I didn't read into the study enough to recognize like what age groups they were surveying, but there was a study that talked about different ages, which we could look at later. So, and it wasn't talking about whether or not they would stick to it. It was talking about whether they would even make one at all, I think.
So do you have a New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
I know what it is.
My New Year's resolution that I thought of the other day while I was out for a jog and I was sucking wind is to get a 6-pack.
But why would you say a 6-pack? Why wouldn't you just say...
Because I feel like saying I want to exercise more is too nebulous. I think saying you want to lose weight is too nebulous.
No, that's not true.
A 6-pack is something you can see.
It's still
subjective.
subjective.
I don't care how much I weigh. It's not like I don't get on the scale every day and weigh myself. Like I just want to feel healthy and be fit. I want to feel comfortable in my clothing. I want to feel self-confident. And for whatever reason, for me, having a 6-pack is something I want to do. Is it achievable? I mean, I guess technically speaking.
In your 40s, is it achievable?
I don't know. I mean, it takes effort to do that because it's not just running, it's eating healthy, and it's like working on your core.
I have a keg.
Mm-hmm.
That's not nice.
Well, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I don't.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Are you going to make one?
I don't know. I want to, but I don't know. I know I probably won't stick with it. I'll be the 51% of the population that doesn't.
Well, I think that's that's part of the problem. People make these resolutions and they're not specific enough to, I mean, losing weight, yeah, you can measure it. Like you can get on the scale and you can measure how much you weigh at the beginning of a time period and at the end of a time period and see if you've actually done that.
Do you think that was people's resolution, was to lose weight, or was it to lose a certain amount of weight? Because if you say I'm going to lose weight, I can...
You could achieve that goal.
Right. I'll go to the bathroom and I would have lost a pound. So I'm just saying.
I just think in general, the goals need to be more achieve. Like, I think you should set a goal for yourself. I do think you should set a resolution for yourself, but I think it should be something that's easy to accomplish. Because I feel like people get so down on themselves. Like, they make this, like, lofty resolution. Like, who knows? Maybe they did say, I want to exercise, like, 5 days a week. And then if they don't do it, even if they only exercise 2 or 3 days a week, I think people, if they don't meet the measure that they set for themselves, they're done with it. It's kind of like, well, I didn't do it. I didn't do it last week, so why do I do it next week?
So are you only going to have one resolution?
Yes. I think you should only have one, first of all, and I think it should be something that you can actually achieve. Do I think I can get a 6-pack this year? Yeah, I do. I think I can actually do it. Will I? I doubt it. Isn't that a shame? I know. I know.
You're going into it with a negative attitude already.
I don't want to. And when I was out running last week, I was like really pumped up. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to get a muffin top.
I know. And when you were out running and I was eating potato chips on the couch, I was thinking the same thing. I'm really going to do it this year. I'm going to put these potato chips down. This is my last bag. Okay,
then that's the question. How do you set a New Year's resolution that you can actually achieve that does something positive for you? Whatever it might be. Like, I was looking at the list of other resolutions people make. You know, they listed this out separately. It's not just exercise more, lose weight, and save more money. Then the next one on the list was improve diet. So that's like its own thing.
But they're all the same.
No, well, the next one's not. It says pursue a career ambition.
I was wondering about that, if that was going to be on there.
I mean, I think that's a good goal to set for oneself. Spend more time with family.
What was it?
Pursue a career ambition. Like, whatever it might be. It's kind of
Right,
generic.
does that mean make more money, or does it mean find a new job, or
Yeah, I mean, I
does
think
it mean be more organized?
any of those. Something related to being better at your job or better in your career. Spend more time with family.
Oh God.
That's horrible. Shouldn't that just be a goal of our lives all the time? And actually, why should we even have to set a goal? Shouldn't spending time with our families be probably the most important thing we do? But it's not.
How much family are we talking?
Um,
Immediate.
Immediate. Well, I don't know. I guess not.
Babe.
What?
It's a good thing our set of parents are probably too old to know what a podcast is, because that would hurt their feelings if you heard this.
I'm not saying not to spend time with them. I'm just saying spend more time with your immediate family. And you could stretch it to other members of your extended family.
All right. What else is on the list?
All right. Next on the list was take up a new hobby. What do you think? Is that a resolution? You know what? No. I think it is, because think about what you do in your normal life. You do spend time with your family. Well, we spend time with our family, and I assume other people do as well. We go to work. We work a lot. We spend the majority of our time working, if you think about it.
So if we want to spend more time with our family, then the last thing we need to do is try to start a podcast. We'll be spending more time
20 minutes a
with
week. Well, you have to edit
it's 20
it.
minutes more. Yeah, right.
This is you picking up a hobby.
That's true.
And the reason I think it's important is because I think if all you do is spend time with your family and work, not that spending time with your family and working aren't important, I think you need to do something that interests you. And I think it's like a motivator. I don't know. You can't do the same. Think about it. You tell me every day, we put the blinds up in the morning, we put the blinds down at night, and everything that happened in the middle of that was the same stuff every day, right?
Yeah.
Wake up early, take care of the dogs, get the kids up for school, go to work all day, come home, make dinner, rush the kids off to practices, put the blinds down. You know what I mean? It is the same. If you don't mix it up and try something new, aren't you going to get bored?
Yeah, that's why I said I wanted to start a podcast with you.
You didn't always say that.
I know.
But you have been telling me for a while that you wanted to pick up a hobby. Yeah. You have.
I'm actually more interested in the technology and the electronic stuff of podcasts.
I know.
Necessarily.
It's so boring to me, and you picked right up and you're like, ooh, look at all these gadgets.
I know, I like it. I just want to keep on buying more of the gadgets.
You've had enough gadgetry.
Do you think anybody will even ever listen to this?
No.
Honestly?
No. Why would they?
I don't know.
They can just talk to each other and hear about each other's lives.
This is so stupid. Is somebody going to want to hear about our life? A 49-year-old fat man with a 43-year-old skinny wife?
I don't have a six-pack.
No.
No, I don't know. The whole concept of podcasting is a little bit weird to me in the first place. But it's all tied into social media, which I also think is weird. And you get sucked into social media super fast. And speaking of that is on the list of things people want to do as a New Year's resolution.
To stop being on it so much?
Yeah, reduce how much time they spend on social media.
I would agree.
You do get sucked into it.
But I got rid of Facebook, and
now you're on LinkedIn, and it's almost just as bad.
Well, LinkedIn was supposed to be a professional thing, and it started out to be a good professional thing.
Supposed to be.
But
every other picture I don't know who you're friends with on LinkedIn, but every other picture is some lady dressed scantily for work, apparently.
Yeah, I don't.
What are they? Escorts? Is that what you're friends with? Escort services?
No, they are professional business people
that wear a mini skirt.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's what they do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get back to the list here. Oh, spend less time on social media is right after take up a new hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Quit smoking.
That's funny.
Quit smoking is down far on the list.
Well, yeah, because not as many people smoke
vape now. They think vaping is healthy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know what? I'm surprised that might not be. Maybe next year it'll be higher on the list to quit vaping. But then again, I go back to the whole thing of I wonder what the age groups are the people that did this, because I think the people that are vaping are under the age of the individuals that typically would set a
New Year's resolution.
Mm-hmm.
That could be. I don't know. That one didn't say the ages, but that's probably tied into it. The next one you're not going to believe.
Oh, no.
It's not that it's crazy. It's just weird. Decorate or renovate your home. That's a New Year's resolution. I feel like a New Year's resolution should be a self-improvement thing.
I was going to say, that to me is something that could be potentially out of your control, because I mean, we wanted to renovate our kitchen, but it cost $60,000, and if you can't
Right.
afford to renovate your kitchen, then how can you set a goal to do that?
Well, it says renovate or decorate. Maybe they're saying like buy new pillows for your couch. I mean, that can make your house look nicer.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
have
not
to
a
spend.
resolution to me, though.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so. I don't. I thought that was a weird one to be on the
That's
list.
more like a hobby
Yeah. Well, take
or
up a
personal
hobby.
preference, even.
Yeah. Well, that was the last one that I wrote down. So.
That's interesting. Well, I don't know. Should I start a resolution?
I think you.
We're early enough to be able to do it.
First of all, I think you should have a New Year's resolution. One simple one that's easy to achieve, and I might have to refine mine. I thought mine when I was doing it would be when I was setting that resolution while I was running and sweating, that one would be like easy to not easy to accomplish, but like measurable. Like you just look in the mirror. Do you have stomach muscles or not? But I think it's just as silly as saying you want to exercise more or lose weight. Like it needs
Well,
to
instead
be
of
something
saying that you wanted a
trackable.
6-pack, why can't you figure out what gets you to a 6-pack and then say that that's what you're going to do every day? So if getting to a 6-pack would mean that you would have to run 2 miles every day, plus do 100 sit-ups, plus do 20 minutes of yoga, and then do, what are those things called? Those things where you get on your toes and forearms.
Oh, planks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
I
say
guess
that that's what your resolution is to do that daily or...
with the goal of improving my core fitness.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe I should do it that way, be more specific, like actual things I know I can do. Can I go for a run every day? Yes. Can I do sit-ups every day?
Right, because how are you going to be
Yes.
able to do a checklist? That's what you need, is a checklist that you did it, to be able to keep up with it. If you quit smoking, you put a check down each day that you didn't or that you quit smoking. If you pick up a new hobby, you check each day that you did your new hobby. If yours is to get a 6-pack.
Yeah, right. What do I check off?
Right.
All right. That makes sense. I'll take you up on that. Okay, then what are you going to do?
Nothing.
I thought you said you were going to set a resolution. So
What do you want me to do? It's going to be the same old bland kind of stuff.
I'll set you a New Year's resolution. I have one for you.
Oh, of course you do. What?
I think yours should be to...
No, I know what you're going to do. Go ahead. You're going to try to
you-
make me so I eat less meat or something.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's going to be.
I know, see.
Because I'm reading several books right now that they don't say you don't have to eat any meat. They say if you eat less meat, if there's less meat in your diet, not only does it lead to losing weight, but it also improves your health dramatically. I really think you should set that as a goal.
How about if we have a goal of not getting COVID?
Hey, high five on not getting COVID yet. I guess at this point, I mean...
Well, that could have changed after this weekend.
I feel like it's kind of at the point where everybody's going to be getting it now.
It is. We should stay away from that, though, because it's too polarizing.
Yeah, I don't like that. Anyway, we haven't had it, but we'll probably get it, and that's that.
So what's mine supposed to be?
You already said, you suggested to me that maybe we should have 1 week a month with no meat. I don't eat it anyway, so that's totally fine with me. I was thinking...
Well, that's not true.
What?
That's somewhat false information, because you eat fish and seafood. So that's a meat.
Okay.
So you're not a strict vegetarian.
Right, true. So what are you saying then? That on the days that you're not eating, on the weeks or whatever we decide, you're not eating meat, you're still allowed to eat fish? I think it should be completely meatless.
Oh my God.
Well, how about instead
But you
of...
know that then, unless it's something that's substituting in fake meat things
I
are
wouldn't
not going
want
to
you
be...
to. I don't like
That's
fake
not
meat.
healthier.
I don't like fake meat, and I don't think you should substitute it in. I think we should research some recipes that just don't have meat in them.
Oh, it's going to be so boring.
It isn't boring if you make it interesting. And anyway, I was going to suggest this. You said 1 week a month with no meat. And
No,
I think that should
said
include
every other week. You said 1 week a month. Maybe
you said
1 week.
every other week?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
No, yours is better.
Well, I was going to actually refine it even further.
Oh boy.
I was going to say
It'd probably be
like
better to do it every other day, but
that's what I was going to say. Every week you just eat, you have some type of meat every other day.
it would probably be easier to maintain an every other day kind of thing than it would be a once every other week kind of thing.
I agree. Because it's like more constant.
Right. And I would go so long. You know what? My New Year's resolution really should just simply be stop feeding my fat face after 8 p.m.
Yeah. But I don't want you eating as much meat, so can you do both?
No, that's 2. I only need 1 resolution. You only have 1.
Should I have another one?
Yeah, eat more meat.
No.
Why not?
I don't want to. No, I really, I've read so many things now, and I'm sure you love that I read these books that talk about people who are healthy, who live a long time, and not only are living a long time, but in good health. They eat a little meat, like very little meat.
The blue zone.
I think you should read about it. It's so interesting.
I don't like to read.
I know. Well, think about it. Every other day, no meat, and that counts fish. Meaning, on the days when you are eating meat, you would want to have fish some days, pork some days, chicken some days. So it's a mixture of meats every other day, and then on the days where we're off meat, it's nothing. Like, it's strictly a vegetarian meal.
So then what are we going to do? Report out on this podcast how we've been doing on that kind of thing? Do people even care about that? I don't think so.
No, I think we should check in regularly. This is a podcast for you and me.
But maybe we'll get...
This is how we're keeping ourselves accountable. And maybe anybody who might want to listen to this will be like, oh, man.
Well, we can't talk about that every single week.
We could mention it for like 30
saying...
seconds. It's not the topic of conversation. It's just, hey, we did meet every other week last week, every other day last week.
I guess. This is exactly what I mean. This is why life sucks at middle age.
Because you want to eat meat all the time?
No, because, well, yes, but because I'm of the age I'm at, you got to worry about stupid cholesterol and stupid high blood pressure and stupid...
Muffin top.
Yeah, it's stupid. When I was younger, I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't.
You've never been super skinny or fit.
I hate you. That is so mean. I was, well, I wouldn't say super skinny. Yeah, maybe you're right. I was always fat.
You weren't fat. I'm just saying, like, fitness has never been a huge priority for you.
No.
Like,
no, but I also wasn't, I was also able to maintain like 190 pounds for a long period of time without having to exercise or do things.
Should and you then mention how tall you are?
Huh? Why? I'm 6'2".
Okay.
190 pounds, I looked awful awkward, though, because I looked like a lollipop because my head was so big and I had a little stick.
You have a big head to hold all those brains.
But now I'm the opposite. I look like a walrus or something. I don't know. What would be the opposite of a lollipop?
I don't know.
But anyway.
A shish kebab?
It is what it is.
I don't know.
But, all right. Well, let's do that. When are we starting this? Today? No. We have to have pork today.
Well, you can have meat every other day, so today's an on.
And then what would tomorrow be?
No meat. We have to go grocery shopping, so we should plan ahead, make a shopping list, and figure out what we're going to have on the no meat days.
Oh my God. Fine.
I'm going to make a checklist for my daily exercise routine so that I can achieve my resolution of getting a 6-pack.
All right. So my resolution is just simply... Oh, I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Disgusting. See?
This is the thinking reason. About how gross it is not to eat meat.
Yeah, right. The reason you threw up in your mouth is because you eat too much meat.
That's not true. So what's my resolution?
You're cutting back on how much meat you eat.
So that way I don't have to worry about exercising more?
Shouldn't exercise just naturally be a part of our lives? We're in our 40s. The whole point is that we're trying to stay fit. We're like pushing against a wall that's not moving.
I know. It gets pretty sad when you start to see people that you went to school with that are actually old. I know it's still young, but I mean, there's been several people I know that have died.
That's heartbreaking. Well, let's keep it less personal. How about we watch some movies from the 80s and 90s this week, and some of the,
Oh my God.
like, the actors, the difference, you know, if you look them up now, we're like, oh, hey, I haven't seen so-and-so for a while, and then you look them up, and
Now
you're
you
like,
know
oh,
why.
my word.
They kept them away from the camera eye.
That is horrible.
What?
Aging shouldn't be that way. Our culture really attaches a stigma to aging. It's like, ew, you've gotten old and wrinkly, you're gross now, you're useless.
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, how about we bring this first trial podcast to an end?
Yep.
I think it was good. It was fun. Nobody else will think it's fun, but I don't know if I really care. It's good just to do it. But what I would like to do is, if we do happen to get a singular person out there that either listens to this or picks it up at some point in time, it'd be good to hear from you. So feel free to email us at thelunacyofmiddleaged. Of middle-aged. Why do I always want to say that? God dang it. The lunacy of middle age at google.com.
At gmail.com. What's at Google?
I don't know. I'm so old. So why don't you say, what is our email?
The lunacy of middle age at gmail.com.
Say it again.
The lunacy of middle age at gmail.com.
That's a long ass email address.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should shorten it.
We can, but it's certainly not going to be at google.com.
Isn't there an Outlook?
Are you Are you kidding right now?
Yes, I'm kidding.
Please. Please stop talking. You're embarrassing me.
All right.
And yourself.
We now have our official email for this podcast. It's lunacyofma@gmail.com. That's lunacy, lunacyofma@gmail.com.
Was that necessary? Do we need an email?
Maybe.
We don't. But
do.
It's there. It's
We do.
lunacyofma@gmail.com.
Right.
All right.
That only took us about 15 different tries to get that, but...
Well, you shouldn't have spoken so soon then.
Well, this stuff was funny. Okay. We hope to hear from you. Al, I love you.
I love you.
All right. We'll talk soon.